Hey, Tony Gaskins here. I'm in the offices of my mentor.life today, so I can't talk too loud. So y'all, forgive me. I don't like people eavesdropping on our conversations. Now, yesterday I did a video about your ex and why your ex keeps in touch. And a lot of people ask me, well, what do you do when it's your ex and your ex keeps in touch and you have to co-parent? So now this is what I want to understand. I'm going to answer this from a male perspective, just talking about men, understanding men. Now, remember that I told you that men understand soul ties even if he doesn't know the name of it. He understands that emotional connection. He understands that bond, that tie that y'all have, emotional, physical, spiritual. He understands that. Now, what you got to realize is when you think about you bringing life into the world, that's two individuals who've come together, given your body to each other, then created life and given life. That is a very powerful experience. That is so deep and intense, and we don't even think about it. We don't even process it. Maybe you can watch a video on it that kind of depicts what's all happening in that process, but we don't even think about that. Like, this is two spirits coming together, conjoining and producing a third. And this third spirit becoming a physical being and growing inside of another human being for 9-10 months, and then entering the world, being comprised of two individuals, not three, not four. It's two individuals who made this new life, this new being. That's powerful. So when you think about this, every time you look at your son or your daughter, it may trigger the thoughts of their mother or father, because that's who helped you make this child. So think about this and just take some time and sit down and kind of process what's really happening. And a lot of times we take life for granted. We take the human experience for granted, the spiritual side of things for granted, and we don't understand the majesty of what's really happening right there. So that alone explains why that tie, that bond is so strong, to where it's like, whoa, what's going on? Now, it was a young lady came in the comments, and she was asking, she said, look, I can't find a video that's for me because my guy live across the street and we share a car, and I'm home with, I think, the 2 or 3 little ones that we done brought in while he out doing his thing in the car that we share. So how can I ever get past that? How can I get over that? And that's kind of what led me to this video today, because that's what's happening a lot. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes you're going to be in a situation where you feel like you're stuck. You feel like you're trapped, like you can't go anywhere, left, right, up or down, over, under. You just got to go through what you're going through. And that's what it's going to feel like. That tie is strong. The soul tie is very strong. The emotional bond, very strong. A lot of times you may feel like deep down you would want your ex back. If he could change, you would want to be back with him. Or if she could change, y'all will make it work. And so it's tough when you have a tie and you got a little bit of hope. So when you got that tie in place and you got that little hope in place, now you really about to struggle, because it's like your heart doesn't really want to fully move on. But here's what you got to understand, is being that men understand that tie, men will use that to our advantage. And when I say our, I'm not talking about me, but I'm just saying I'm a man, okay? I'm not in between man and woman, so I'm just saying our and we. But understand, I ain't talking about me, okay? But so a man will use this to his advantage because he understands that this is a lifelong tie now. And see, what a lot of people don't understand is that's why a man even want to get you to that place. That is why, see, when I tell you about a man having a roster and a man having, the number one player, the LeBron James, and then having the number 12, when I tell you about that, what I'm telling you is that a man will give you a guaranteed contract even though you number 12 on the roster. Now, when I say 12, I don't literally mean 12, but meaning even though you the woman that he doesn't want to spend the rest of his life with, you bring something to the table and he want to keep you there. He want to keep you trapped. He want to be able to pop in and out your life to use you as he needs to use you. And that's why he gets you on your back. And that is why he puts one in you. And that's why he encourages you and supports you in bringing life into the world, because he want to keep you there. And here's the thing, he doesn't have a belief system or morals or values that says I need to be with one woman and be with the mother of my children and be in the home, because he comes from savagery. He comes from brokenness, like what I was talking about in the other video, where a lot of people confusing just a person who was raised without the knowledge on love and relationships with someone who is a labeled individual with a personality disorder. A lot of people confusing that. And so this gentleman, he saw broken homes. So to him, for a man to have 3 baby moms, that's not abnormal to him. That's what all his cousins got. That's what all his uncles and brothers, his dad might have that situation. So that's just normal. That's what he sees as normal. And so what he's looking is, okay, what's the best 2 or 3 baby mamas that I can get? And unfortunately, you may be one of those, but not the one he wants to spend his life with. And so this makes no sense. And that's the thing with our world right now, is men do a lot of stupid stuff that does not make any sense whatsoever. And women banging their heads against the wall trying to make it make sense. A lady actually said that to me in a comment. She said the reason why I use the term of the word that we were talking about, the reason why I'm looking for a label is because I'm trying to make it all make sense. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is not everything will make sense. Not everything has a rhyme or reason that will be easily explained to you. So you got to understand that. So this man, he has chosen you to carry his child, but he doesn't want to spend the rest of his life with you. But he sees you as good enough to bring something to the table. You, as a woman, went in and did not know that. You did not know that he just saw you as one of many. That he has an idea that it's okay to have 2, 3, 4 baby mamas, because that's what the dope boys, that's what the big boys, that's what the millionaires, that's what the kings, that's what the alpha males do. So he had this idea that this is manhood, this is natural, this is normal. You didn't know that. And he knew that if he expressed that and he said that to you, that he's not worried about having 3 different baby moms, you probably would have ran for the hills. You would have put your track shoes on so fast and been out of there. So he knows that. And he knows that what makes sense to him and what he may believe may make absolutely no sense to any sane person, and especially a sane woman. So he's not going to come up to you, a man not going to come up to you and say, listen, so I was raised by savages and, just saw a lot of mess, and I'm still broken and lost and hurting in my life, and I'm actually a grown boy. Have you ever heard the term grown boy? This guy named Tony talks about it on YouTube. Well, that's actually me. So this is how this is going to play out here. I'm going to get you on your back, and we're going to have unprotected intercourse, and I'm going to impregnate you, and then while you are carrying our child, I'm going to cheat on you, and it's going to make you feel very insecure and down and all of that. And then I'll ask you, can I show up and be in the delivery room? But right after that, I'm going back to my other woman to continue impregnating her. And I'll let you all fight and fuss with each other over me. And while y'all are doing that, I'm going to pick up a third. Have you ever heard that? I mean, who says that? Who does that? But this is a reality for countless women. I mean, when I go into my Q&A on Instagram, I can't answer all the questions because sometimes it's literally thousands of questions, but I may get to I answer 30 minutes to an hour worth. And y'all got to forgive my mind bouncing around. I'm so excited. Me and my wife got a date night tonight. And my mind just jumped to it and saw us sitting there painting. We're going to be painting tonight. And, some Pinot Grigio. I don't even know what that is. But y'all got to forgive me. My mind kind of racing. And what was I talking about? So now here comes this man. And I'm reading all these messages from these women. And to be honest with you, like I told you, I do this every day. I do this every day. I didn't have any sessions today because I don't do sessions on Fridays, but I'm in the trenches every day. And I'll be honest with you. I was blown away when I started doing the Instagram Q&A, and I started seeing how many women wrote me and said, I'm pregnant, and he got another girl pregnant at the same time. I just growing up, I just did not see that or know of it that much. And I'm like, okay, it's one night. This is one night, this one group of people. The world has millions of people in it. Okay, I may be looking at 300, 400, maybe 1,000 questions. In the questions that I've read, I have read 5 or 6 or 7 times that this woman is 6, 7, 8 months pregnant, and she finds out he has another woman pregnant, or she's in that situation pregnant and he is cheating. And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, this is really, really crazy. So this just one group of people. Like, if I could poll the entire hundreds of millions of women in America alone, how many would say they had that experience? If I'm talking to one little pool of people and I've bumped into, 5, 6 that I saw it, I'm pretty sure if I had the ability, the time to read every question, I probably would see it a lot more. But I just am there 30 minutes to an hour, and questions coming in over the entire 24-hour period, and it's mind-boggling. So here's the thing. That was his belief system. That's how he felt. And this was my belief system. Well, let me tell you what my belief system was. When I came in to relationships, my dad was in the home. My father was in the home. I call him daddy. I'm 35. I don't call my dad, pops. I call him daddy. To me, daddy is love. I call you daddy, that's a term of endearment. Father, dad, to me, that's business relationship. To me, that might not be the case in your culture where you from. But for me, where I'm from, daddy. If your daddy wasn't there, it's like, my pops, my peoples, my old man. But for me, my daddy was there every day. He was at every game. I don't think he ever missed a game from little league, 7 years old, all the way through high school. I don't think he ever missed a game. He was there. So guess what? When I became an adult, I say, okay, you know what? I told my mama, I said, Mama, if I get a prostitute, if I get one of those pregnant, I'm marrying her. If I get one of those women that's in that line of work, pregnant, I'm marrying her, and I'm raising my child in the house. And she was like, wow, son, well, hey, that's good. I'm glad you're going to be there. Now, I never slept with a worker in that industry, never paid, never did any of that. But I was just saying, like, you 100% better be sure you can rest assured, if I'm dealing with a woman and she pregnant with my child, y'all got to, when I say these words, I'm saying it kind of fast because it's an automated system on here, it's like a little robot ears, and they pick up certain words. So a lot of my videos, because I'm talking about real stuff, a lot of them, they get, in trouble. And so I'm trying to sometimes glance across a word, but try to listen a little closely. So if I get this woman and she producing life, and this come from me, and I've been there every day, and we've been together, and I know what it is, I'm marrying her. So guess what? When that happened with me and my wife, I proposed. We were living in sin. I wasn't the man that I am today. That's why I teach the way I teach about saving yourself to marriage, because I made the mistakes. And guess what? If I didn't have that belief system that I had, guess what I could have did? When that happened with my wife, I'm out of here. See you later. Toodles. That's what I could have did. So it wasn't all just her, that she was an amazing woman. That was my belief system going into it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why some of you single mothers are amazing women. You're an amazing woman, but you didn't have your belief system and your deal breakers, or you didn't have the knowledge to recognize the red flags to be able to tell that this is the type of man that won't do the work to make a relationship work, and this is the type of man that will cheat on you, leave you high and dry, cheat on you while you carrying his son or daughter, and will leave you and go get another woman pregnant. Like, you didn't have the knowledge yet. These videos weren't out there when you was out there doing what you was doing. And so it's not your fault. And you could sit there today and say, look, I'm a good catch. I'm a good woman. I got a good heart. Guess what? I believe you. But you didn't have your boundaries and your standards in place. That's why I tell you all the time, say, look, okay, what's ever in the past, that's the past. But today you got to turn over a new leaf, and you got to say, going forward, I'm not giving my body to anybody other than my husband, because it's too big of a gamble. Because I know women who waited and gave their body to their husband and it still didn't work out. So if it could not work out with your husband, definitely not finna take the chance with a boyfriend of giving my body away, knowing that he can be in another woman's body and then be up and leaving anytime he get ready. And then here's the thing. When a man does this, not every man who does this is a bad man. When I mean does this, I mean y'all break up. Y'all bring life into the world, and then the relationship falls apart. Not every man that happens with is a terrible guy, is a bad guy. It's just somebody that y'all weren't compatible, and y'all skip the like phase and falling in love, and y'all went from lust, and lust produced that child was produced from lust, but y'all hadn't even spent enough time to be in like and then to be in love, or you was in love but wasn't even in like, and then you didn't have self-love. Remember the 4 levels of love that I created: lust, like, love, self-love. Self-love being the highest level of love. See, you didn't have self-love, so you didn't have your boundaries in place, you didn't have your standards all set out, you didn't have your deal breakers set out, so you was going with the flow, and then you ended up the creek without a paddle. And now you got this man who, he's not necessarily a terrible person, but it's not gonna work out. Y'all just aren't compatible. You just don't see the world the same. You moving on 2 different wavelengths. Now on the other side of this, what I'm talking about is when you go to co-parenting. Now some of this crosses, this goes across the board. Some of this is across the board. And this coming from a life coach perspective, a male perspective, understanding males, and then also being on the outside looking in, having to be a mediator in these co-parenting situations, and where I see the fault lies, the mistakes, lies, and this is what it is a lot of times when you take and you lie down with somebody, you are giving your body to them. You taking a huge gamble. What I mean by the huge gamble, you could lose your life. You could lose your shirt. And when you gambling, meaning you lose your shirt, meaning you lose it all. Because when you lie down with this person to reproduce, anything they got flowing in their bloodstream, it's being deposited into you. And you taking a gamble. And unless you just got the results yesterday, then from the doctor saying that y'all both clean bill of health, nothing, then you taking a gamble. Because if you may have got it when you last month, but what happened in those last 31 days? Some could have been contracted then. So when you lie down, you saying, I trust you with my life. That's what you're saying. And if you're not saying that, then you need to stop lying down with people. If you're not processing that you are trusting this person with your life, that you're giving them the power to alter your life forever. You giving them the power. You saying, look, whatever in your bloodstream, deposit it into me. And I'm going to carry that. I'm going to carry that for you for the rest of my life. That's what you're saying. So understand this. So what happens is when you do something that is that serious, subconsciously, your brain equates this person as someone who has a key to your lock. Your brain equates this person as someone who has access to your life forever. And so that is why this person can change your life when you lie down with them. So guess what? If they can give you a package that keeps on giving, and that is not what you wanted, but now it's in your body, it's in your bloodstream, and you have to live with it, and you got to tell future partners about it, that is equivalent to giving someone a master key to all of your locks. So guess what? Subconsciously, you just gave a piece of you away to this person, and they gave a piece of them away to you. And this is what we call a soul tie. So here's what happens when it comes to co-parenting. Now, when it's time to co-parent, you subconsciously feel like this person has access and a right to my life, and to come through and to get past the standard barriers of privacy that I have with my friends, my family members, my coworkers, associates, colleagues. This person has a all access pass that he can come into my life. A guy, a partner of mine calls it refrigerator rights, which is meaning, think about what I mean with refrigerator rights. Who can come in your house and go in your refrigerator? If you invite me over and I come in and I walk straight to the refrigerator, you can be like, yeah, girl, Tony Gas just came over here and he walked straight to the refrigerator and just grabbed something to drink. I mean, it's cool and all, but he ain't even asked. That's what I mean by refrigerator rights. So this person has refrigerator rights, and that's what's happening. And this is the thing, men know that. So being that men know that, what he does is he popping up and he coming in. He coming on in, he going to the couch, kicking his feet up, he putting it on putting the TV on ESPN. You were just watching your stories and you like, what, Aurora? They was getting ready. Why did you just change the channel? I'm watching Young and the Restless. You watching your stories. He done came in, flipped it to ESPN. Then looked at you like, what you gonna do about it? Because he feels he has an all access pass because you gave him your body unprotected, which means you already gave him the right to ruin your life. And so he feels like that is a lifetime access, because what he's telling himself is, If I had HIV and she got in the bed with me, that could have changed her life forever. So ain't no putting me out, ain't no kicking me out, ain't no getting over me. That didn't happen, but we still connected. We in business forever. We in business for life. So that's what's going through his mind. And subconsciously, in most cases, that's what's going through the woman's mind. And that is what makes co-parenting so hard or so toxic at times because of that. Now understand this. So what you have to do in this situation, because this man, he's feeling this all access and that's what he wants, is you got to create boundaries. You got to create boundaries, and you have to be very, very intentional about these boundaries. So like with the young lady who said, look, we share a car, guess what? You have to be intentional about earning income. So if you got to go nicely, if you got to bring more value to your job, so and do more than what you're asked to do, so that in 3 months, 6 months, you can go and ask for a raise. If you got to come early, 30 minutes, leave 30 minutes late, do your job and do a couple other people's job to bring more value to the job, because you may not have the degrees or the certifications that warrants a raise, but you need to bring an infectious personality that is nice and kind and loving and caring and giving and sacrificial. You need to bring the biggest smile in the world. You got to be very intentional about your income. If, like the young lady who said, we sharing a car. If you need some charity in the sense of like your credit is bad and you got some hard inquiries, you got some late payments, and you need to get those things off, hey, we'll maybe ask for 50% off. You know, I got a client that fixes credit. It's $80 a month. Maybe she'll do $40 a month for single mothers. And it may take 3 months. Get your credit cleaned up so your score goes from a 450 or a 500. Even if it goes to a 650, 680, you can walk on a lot and get a car with no down payment, even with that 680. And now you working and you do what you got to do. And this is the thing, a lot of time ego keep people trapped. Because you got a degree or because you known in the city, you don't want to work at Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS behind the counter. No, do what you got to do. If you got to go flip burgers, go flip burgers. Do what you got to do. If you want a creative job, you know, I'm in an office space, and this office space is workers out there who work the desk. They sit at the desk and they help you. They help you get onboarded onto your office. That's a job, and it's in an office in a nice place like this here. That's a great job. Go do that if you don't want to flip burgers. It's kind of like customer service, but go do that. Get past the ego and do what you got to do to make some money. Don't go get on nobody pole, and don't go get on your bike. Don't do anything. But it's a whole lot of honest ways to make some money. So this is what you need to do. You got to get serious about your income. Okay, if your income already where it need to be, then what you need to do next is you got to put boundaries in place. You got to put boundaries in place, and this is what you got to tell him. You got to be able to say to him, listen, you and I are no longer, and I'm moving on with my life. Now, I am dating, and I don't bring this around our children, but I'm dating, and I am preparing to be married. So, being that I'm going to be married within the next 18 to 24 months, a year and a half to 2 years. Now he gonna cut you off while you tell. Hold on. What you doing? You date? You got him around my kid? You bringing me around my kid? And he might try to escalate the situation. You bring it right back down. If you got to walk away from it today, then you bring it up tomorrow. You bring it up every day till you get to have this conversation. And you say, listen, okay, this is what we're gonna have to do. We gotta set boundaries. So what are your days? We can agree to it, or we can go to court. And I'm gonna protect my children, meaning that if you say your day is Tuesday, or you say your weekend is every other weekend, and I go and I tell little Johnny, little Sally to get their bags ready, and you don't show up, the next time I'm not telling them that you even coming. And I'm gonna tell them that you sick. I'm gonna tell them that you moved away. Like, I'm gonna protect them from their heart being broken. Like, or I'm gonna tell them the truth about you. Whichever one you feel is best. That's a personal choice. But you let him know that his boundaries in place, that y'all need to have visitation. It need to be certain days. And if y'all can't agree on it, then go to the court. A lot of people so afraid of the court, and they're always talking about, oh, keep the courts out your business. Oh, keep the courts out your, look, bring that court right on in your business. If you dealing with somebody that can't come to an agreement with you like a responsible human being, going right on to the courthouse and do what you got to do. That's what the courthouse down there for. Okay, and the Bible tell you to bring the courts in it when y'all can't settle stuff. You know, you got to go on to that next level. So listen to me. Y'all set these boundaries. Okay, his day is every other weekend. His nights during the week is Tuesday night, Wednesday night. All right. Now, this the thing. What you have to realize, and this, a lot of people don't want to hear this. A lot of people don't want to hear this, especially women don't be wanting to hear this. But it's the reality of the situation, whether you like it or not, is your children are 100% yours. They're not 50% yours. So you can't get all up in your feelings and angry because you got to cancel your girl's night out on Tuesday because he didn't show up. Because you got on your bike. When you got on your bike, you accepted full responsibility for what comes with that. Now, it would be great in a perfect world to have a 50-50 person. But if he's not going to be 50-50, then it's 100% on you. And yes, that sucks. Yes, it's not fair. Yes, I know you're angry about that. And yes, he should be held accountable. Yes, put him on child support. Do everything under the name of the law that you can do. I'm for child support. A lot of people is against it. But I'm like, if you can't come to an agreement, this is what I tell my daughter. If he won't come to an agreement that's fair, the way he giving you a certain amount of money, and that he gonna be on top of that money, and he paying it every single month, he ain't worrying about what you doing with it. He worrying about, this is what I'm giving for my kid. What you do with it, that's between you and God. If you misspending it, you're gonna have to answer to God. But I'm giving this to you, and I'm keeping a receipt. So that when my son or daughter 13, 14, 15, and they like, Dad, I want to ask you, why didn't you ever give mom money for me so that I could get some new shoes? I was getting bullied at school because I didn't have new shoes. As a man, you able to boop, boop, open that box. Look, this right here. These are all my receipts. These are all my receipts. I gave her money orders, and these are receipts because I knew one day I felt like something was going on. I felt like she was spending that money on dates with another man. Or I felt like she was at the mall shopping for herself and not doing for you. But I had to give. Instead of not giving, I gave. Because if anything, it at least kept the lights and the water on, kept the car running for you. But I kept all my receipts. So if a man can't do that, and he can't be that mature, then you put them boys on him. You put them boys in blue on him. You put them on him so that if he don't want to do right, license suspended, jail time, community service, everything that come with it, because you a grown man and you laid your butt down there, dirty D, you done put it in this woman, and now you want to run off like you ain't got no responsibility. No, I'm putting that gavel on you. I'm slamming that gavel on you. Letter of the law. What we could take? We could take back pay. We could garnish. We could garnish taxes. We could garnish payment. I want it all. That's what I tell my daughter. I want it all. If he can't man up to his responsibility, then he deserves to have the courts on him. But see, this is the thing. A lot of women who done got caught up in, the system is against us, Tony, and I am so against going to the courthouse. If you can't settle it between yourself, then okay, just take the loss. Do not go to the courthouse. It is too many of our men that have suffered at the hands of the courthouse. I know first and foremost about that. My uncle doing 40 years for a $20 transaction with an undercover officer. 40 years. You hear me? I know all about that. But that right there, that's grown man business in the streets with illegal activity. But when it comes to these innocent youngins that you done brought in against their will, they didn't lay down to make themselves, you got to be held accountable. So listen to me. When you co-parenting, if you can't come up to an agreement, bring that courthouse involved. Get that courthouse involved, because that right there, when a man gets scared straight. Oh, no. Okay, let's do this. All right, now what you need? What you gonna need? Okay. All right, okay. And then some, you gonna have some that's just so sorry they don't care. They'll go do them 10 days. They'll go sit in there. They'll go do the community service. They'll bail out. Some don't care. Some gonna quit their job so you can't garnish a paycheck. Some gonna get out the army. I done seen a man get out the army because the government was holding him accountable for his child support. He left the army so his taxes wouldn't be garnished, and so his checks wouldn't be automatically, his child support wouldn't be automatically sent. Because when you're in the army, that check automatically sent. The government in that end got out of the army to avoid that. Guess what? It is a hot corner in Satan's house for those type of men. So you can't get caught up in all of that. At the end of the day, if you can't work it out, and some go to the court, and I've seen some men get taken to court and literally their payment is $5 a month, because some of the courts don't care about the well-being of your children. So, but at the end of the day, if that ain't paid, it's repercussions, and it may not be anything that come of it, but what you did with that is you let them know you about business, that you're about business. Because see, what men will do, and a lot of men gonna be mad at me because of this, but what men will do is use that soul tie to play on you, to say, oh, you nasty for going to the courts, or you nasty for child support, or you nasty for that, oh, you working with them, oh, you with them, you want to keep the black man down, you want to keep us down, oh, you ain't no good, you ain't no better than them out there. All the words that you hearing, and you'll start to feel guilty, because you like, man, this is my own people, like this, you know what I mean? Like, man, he done had it rough, man, let me not know. A man got to be held accountable. So understand this right here, is when you put these boundaries in place, it got to go across the board. So what's gonna happen is, you say, all right, these are your days. And you got a system in place, because you running a business, you a brand, you an entity, you a person, but you got to have policies and procedures for your life. You got to have bylaws for your life. So you say, okay, your day is every other weekend. All right, you ain't show up this weekend. My child heart was broken because you told me you was about to do this, this, and this, and this. So I had to get him or her ready, and then here you were last minute, I ain't gonna be able to make it. Okay, next time, don't tell me about what all you plan and y'all going to the dinosaur park. Tell me what time you gonna be there, and when you get here, sit outside. You wait outside in your car. When you here, then I will get him or her ready, and then we'll come out. So you might have to wait for 20-30 minutes, but you got to understand, this is bigger than you, and I'm gonna protect mine, and I'm not gonna have him or her heart broken every weekend because you can't keep your word. That is unfair. This child did not do anything to be here, did not ask for this. That is unfair, and you need to get your stuff together. And this how you gotta talk to a man. And this what I'm saying. See, some of y'all, you saying it on the phone, so he not even hearing you while you talking. He texting. You gotta send this on a voice memo. This gotta be a voice memo on the iPhone. Got the little microphone. You can hold it down. I don't even use that because sometimes your finger slip and your whole message be lost. But it's the voice memos, the little app with the little red and squiggly lines. You got to go in there, click on that, do the recording there, then send it. Send the voice memo that look like a little square, it's like a little file. Go into him like a little MP3. He got to click it and listen to it. That way he can listen to it 5, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 times. But listen to me, when you do this, no yelling. I know you upset. I know you upset. You'll fight by yours. You hear me? I already know that. You will make somebody pay by yours. I already know that. But no yelling, no cursing. You talking like a lawyer in the court of law. Cause see, this is what you got to understand. These men, there's some good men who ready for war, and there's some no good men who ready for war. So if you come on this message and you yelling, you screaming, and you cursing, you irate. Whether you texting it or whether you saying it, you irate. So he gonna take you to court, and he gonna play that in the courtroom of you showing emotional instability. And now the judge gonna be like, and you can try to say, Your Honor, I was extremely upset because that's not fair to my daughter or to my son. And I was extremely upset, and that's why I acted out the way that I did. But Your Honor gonna be like, listen, okay, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay, that is unacceptable, and you're looking a little questionable right now for the care of your son or daughter. And that's what they're gonna hit you with. So you got to be cool, calm, and collected, and you got to be able to just lay it out. Listen, because you didn't show up, next time when you come, you text me when you outside, and then we'll get ready. It'll take 20 minutes, and then I will walk him or her out to the car. So again, you got set days where the other parent gets the child. You got set days. All right. Outside of that, you got set times. So the pickup window, just like when somebody coming to do service or repairs at your house, they say, look, we'll be there between noon and 3 p.m. because they can't have you just sitting there all day. So the pickup window, 6 p.m., between 6 and 8 p.m., I'll be there. Get there at 9, your butt staying outside. Unless your son or daughter hear them out there knocking, blowing the horn, acting a fool. But even if that's the case, again, remember, it's about protection. So if he out there irate, okay, 911. Yes, this is a non-emergency, but if you can send a patrolman out here, my child's father is outside and a little irate, and I'm a little concerned, for my child. And if a patrol officer could come by and just kind of ask him to kindly leave. That's a domestic situation. Now he gonna say, "Oh, this is my day. The officer gonna say, "Look, that's civil right there. But right now, you on her property, and you're not invited here, and you don't live here. So I'm gonna need to ask you to leave." And that's what you gotta do. And see, some of y'all, you scared to do that because your man got a record or he in illegal activity, and he paying his child, so he paying you the money that he's giving you that you dependent on come from his illegal activity. So you feel like you naked in the woods. And that right there, that's a repercussion of your choices. But now you got to choose what's gonna mean more. Your sanity and your safety and your protection and the well-being of your son or daughter, or that money that he giving you. Now you got to make a choice. So you put these boundaries in place, but understand this, the boundaries go across the board. If you got sole custody and you got the majority of the custody, then what that means is you got to be able to go to the school and say, look, I got sole custody and no pickups without my permission. He'll go to court order, no pickups without my permission. Give me a call. Ain't no she getting checked out or he getting checked out by the daddy. I need to be called because I need you to make sure this is approved. And point blank period. And then you have boundaries with the school. You got boundaries with your phone time, meaning, listen, don't call me after 9 p.m. Do not call my phone after 9 p.m. because I've moved on with my life, and that is disrespectful. Now, he may do it anyways. You know his number by heart, so take his number out your phone. So when you do move on and you with your boyfriend and y'all sitting there having a date, when his number pop up, his name is not in there. It's just a number. And the phone with AT&T now, it might say spam risk. And so, and you could save his number as spam risk. So this your personal boundaries. Now you see how deep we going here now? Now I'm telling you now, I take you all the way there. You can put his name in there as spam risk. So when it come up, your new boo that you getting to know, he don't know because he see the phone saying that a lot now. So he don't it's spam risk. You ain't answer spam calls anyways. So this is spam risk. So when he calling you, but you give him them boundaries, and then guess what? You never answer the phone outside of those boundaries. So if you only picking up your phone between the hours of 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., because that's before work, or 8 to 9 a.m., that's before work, and there's no reason you should be talking unless it's got something to do with y'all son or daughter. And then between the hours of 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., whatever it may be, where you're available. But here's the thing. This the key with the boundaries. Now, sometimes what a man is going to do is he going to come in and he going to make up something. Oh my God, hey, pick up your phone, pick up the phone. I got shot in the leg. I done got shot in the leg. Give me a call. I want to say bye. I want to say bye to my son just in case. This is my last breath. And then you call him. Hello? You told me you got shot in the leg. What do you need? I just wanted to talk to you. I've been missing you. Bye. Ding. And you hang up the phone. Now, he the boy who cried wolf. Next week, he got shot in the brim of his hat and the bullet grazed him. Guess what? Ain't no call back. Now, the next week when he actually get shot, if it actually happened, you got to find out the real way. It might be his mom call you. It might be somebody else call you. Hey, give him a call. You know, this real deal. But you got to set boundaries. And it, in most cases, 99% of the time, it ain't going to get that drastic. But I'm just telling you, is sometimes people have to suffer from the boy who cried wolf, from selling wolf tickets. And if you got ex who sell wolf tickets, you got to make that clear. And you got to say, listen, I don't deal with the games. And so I need you to grow up. This on the voice memo, so you can listen to it 10 times. I don't deal with the games, and I need you to grow up. Because if something ever is truly wrong with you, you're going to be lying there by yourself with no help because you abused the situation for so long. You took advantage of the situation for so long. That word I just said, you can't even say that. You ain't allowed to say that in YouTube videos. So y'all forgive me, this video might get took down. So stop playing the games because it's gonna backfire against you. For Christmas, get them a book. Get them the book, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. That's his Christmas gift. Give it to your son or daughter to give it to him. Hey, Daddy, I love this story. Mom been reading me this story, and I want to get you a copy. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. And you set these boundaries in every way. At the schoolhouse, on your telephone, popping up to your house. And listen, see, I'm different because I'm a man. And women have forgiving and nurturing, nurture by nature hearts. So when I tell you this, you like, man, this too much. This too drastic, Tony. This too real. But I'm telling you because I'm a man and I know what men respect. And it's one thing that men respect. There's one thing that men gonna get serious by is them boys in blue. So if he popping up and he's showing up and he knocking on the door, bamming on the door, and he not supposed to be there, it's not inside of the window, it's not inside of what the boundaries that's been set in place, then the boys in blue need to be called, regardless of what his situation is. If he going to jail, he going to jail. If he got some work in the car, hey, you got to go sit down, and you're gonna need that time to get your mind together. It is what it is. It is what it is, because this is about my safety and sanity. See, here's the thing. This why situations go wrong is because so many people drag it on. You drag it on. You drag it on, and instead of recognizing it early and nipping it early. Nipping, and the reason why I'm saying nipping, because I don't know if it's nipping in the bud or nipping in the butt. But you got to nip it somewhere. You nip it early, okay? And this the thing, because the more you feed into it, the more deranged he becomes. Because any behavior that is recognized and rewarded repeats itself. That's behavioral science. Any behavior that is recognized and rewarded repeats itself. So when you entertaining his foolishness, you feeding the monster. It's getting bigger, it's getting stronger, and then one day something bad is gonna happen, because he done been played with. But you gotta let him know early. You hear me? Yes, can you send a patrol car to my house? If you got to call them every day, guess what? It's on record. It's on record. That's what happened. That's what a lot of women do wrong, is you so afraid to get to put it on record, that if you ever got to get bodied, ride it, Master P, if you ever got to get to that level, now you in trouble, because you didn't have it on record. But when you got it on record, when you have to get bodied, now you protected, because you up under that protection to where you were taking care of yourself, defending yourself. You see what I mean? And that's what a lot of people don't understand, and so they play with it and end up some go wrong, and they like, well, we don't have any record of you ever calling to say that this is how he is and this is what he was doing. This is the first time, and you are in the wrong. This is your battery, or whatever it may be. And so that's what you got to understand. So you put these boundaries in place, and this is what it has to be. And it's a sensitive subject, so it's a long video. Y'all got to forgive me. But that's what I need you to understand, is to bring this on home. When you are co-parenting with an ex, bad ex, even if it's a good ex, even if it's a good ex and you want to move on with your life, you still got to put these boundaries in place. You may be able to do it more politely. It may be a little bit more of an understanding situation. You might not have an iron fist, but the boundaries still got to be there. So this is what you got to understand, is the problem is you going from relationship to situationship to friends with benefits, or you going from relationship to friend with benefits to situationship, and so you still got something going. And that's why he has refrigerator rights. That's why he come in the house instead of waiting outside and you walking out to him, because you still in that mindset of lifetime access, master key to all the locks. But what you have to realize is when you co-parent, it becomes a business relationship. So you do it like business. This is a business transaction. Although a young heart is involved, the way we interact and the way we handle business, it's like a business. It's a business transaction. It's not a friend transaction. It's not a besties transaction. It's not a friends with benefits transaction, because with those things, it's more access and it's more benefits. With this right here, this situation is a business transaction, so it's formal. It is formal, meaning, and when it's really toxic, you have to bring in a mediator. So it may be your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin. It may be the boys in blue. or the women in blue, whichever whoever in the blue in your city. But you got to do what you got to do, and what this looks like is it may be a situation where we're gonna meet at the park, in the parking lot, and your mom or your friend gets out the car and gets little Johnny or little Sally and puts him in his car, and then he fire hot about it, and some of them gonna just quit, they gonna give up. But guess what I need you to understand, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, is that your children are resilient. It's millionaires, it's billionaires, it's life coaches, it's counselors, it's therapists who come up in single parent homes. Some of the people who've changed the world, set records, single parent home. Your children are resilient. So if their daddy fall off, if you 100% and you see them as 100% your responsibility, not 50% your responsibility, they're not gonna miss a beat. They're gonna be just fine because they got love. But see, when you see them as 50% of your responsibility, and then the other 50% that you could be giving them, you giving that to your ex in anger and bitterness and frustration, now your son or daughter is losing out. Now they losing out because they don't have their mommy. They got half a mom. They got a mo. They ain't got no mommy. They got a mo, mo, and they don't have your attention. You're not present. You're not engaged. You're not kind and loving and supportive in a healthy way. I'm not talking about to where you so overbearing that it's like they dating you, to where they so crippled for life because you won't let them open the bottle or they drink. You won't let them hold themselves while they using the bathroom. You won't let them do nothing. And they 10, 11, 12 years old. So don't go to that extent. You teach them and you show them, but you there and you 100% locked in. So listen, y'all know I'm talking off the top of my head, so you got to forgive me when I kind of bounce a little bit. But the key message here is go from lovers and friends to business transaction. Put boundaries in place. Have your policies and your procedures. Have your bylaws, meaning how you gonna run this situation, how you gonna operate. Try to do it cordial as two responsible adults first. If that don't work and you need to call on the courthouse, get the courthouse involved. When y'all can't do the, handoff, drop off, pickup with respect and in a way that you need to do it, call the law, involve. You need the boys in blue. You hear me? Bad boys, what you gonna do? You need them. Don't play with it. Don't be out here naked in the woods feeling like you all on your own. No, bring in some reinforcements. And stay away from the law at first if your mama or your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cousin, best friend gonna be there and be your accountability partner. Because see, this one thing about a grown boy, now if you got a good man, you're gonna have to deal with all this. If your ex is a decent man, not a good man and all that, but a decent man. But one thing about a grown boy need to see that you have representation. It's just like the same reason you have a lawyer, the same reason you have an agent, the same reason you have a manager. That makes you look more official, like you got representation. Now I do a lot of my deals, so people try to come at me crazy, but then I gotta let them know, no, I do this. But so yeah, you can do this on your own. But when you're dealing with somebody that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, they need to see you got some backup. They need to see you got some support. They need to see you got some representation, whether that's a friend or family member or whether it's the actual boys in blue. Hey, I hope this helped a little bit. Set them boundaries. Take your heart out of it. It's over. It's done. That's your past. Take the heart out of it and put your mind in it and do it the right way. Hey, make sure you click the link in the description. Go to mymentor.life. I think we got some co-parents and coaches on there if you need additional help. God bless you.